Hey guys, making some comfort food, deep fried, so that you don't have to go out to any drive-thrus. Do this at home. A little break from the art a bit, or culinary art. These are called pakoras. They're vegetable pakoras, so they'll be nice and healthy. I'm going to do a potato pakora, cauliflower pakora, and broccoli pakora. Now, with the broccoli and the cauliflower, you have to cook it a little bit, cut the pieces in half so that the stem is exposed, and then cook them in oil. I use olive oil to kind of cook them a quarter of the way through. Because whenever we deep fry them, if they're not completely cooked first, because they're so dense, the stems, when you go and bite into them, it's kind of like eating the raw vegetable, which some of us may not like to do. So what I did is I just took my little saucepan, a little olive oil on the inside, I cut the broccoli crowns in half, and I just fried them up for a few minutes until they got a little golden on the underside. Not too much. Now I'm going to take all of those out, and my hands are clean, I've washed them, and I'm just going to leave them on my cutting board for now. I'll get to battering and frying those here in just a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little olive oil to the pan. Just show you how much. Okay, just a little bit. Again, I'm going to cook the cauliflower in that. Turn on the burner to a low simmer. I should have a chef's hat, but I don't. And I just have a little bit of cauliflower. I get organic cauliflower and broccoli and potatoes just to try to keep it as healthy as possible. And again, this is just an idea that you can try at home with your friends and family so that you don't have to go out and buy fast food or anything that's prepared that might be questionable. So this is kind of a way to get around that. It's still deep fried in olive oil, so it's nice and comforting. My dad grew up in the South, and so half of my life was in the South, and comfort food, deep fried foods are always nice to have. So I've taken the cauliflower and I've cut it in half. You can see I've revealed the stems, and now I'm going to take these, fry them in that oil with the stems facing down. I have a really big chunk here, so I'm going to cut this one in half again, just to kind of flatten down the hill of the cauliflower. And those four are going to cook for a few minutes. Make sure they don't get too hot so I don't burn them. And then now I'm going to make a batter. So I'm going to pan this down so you can see my lovely countertop. And I'm using a little bit of garbanzo bean flour as well as just regular unbleached white flour. So I'm going to take my garbanzo bean flour, and about a quarter of the batter is going to be the garbanzo bean. And then 3/4 is going to be the white flour. The white flour is what's going to make it really airy, and the garbanzo bean flour is what's going to give you some protein. Now, 3/4 of that. Keep my eye on the cauliflower. I worked in a kitchen for 9 years, so I'm used to putting things away right away when I'm done with them. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And pepper. do about 8 to 10 dashes of pepper. Keep an eye on the cauliflower, make sure that it doesn't burn. I'm going to move it around. Then I'm going to take all the dry material, mix it, mixy, mixy, mixy. Okay, that's probably pretty good. Now I'm going to add water. Make it a thick batter first. Cauliflower's done. I'm going to go in and turn it off. You can see it's nice and thick and doughy. So obviously it's mostly white flour. So it's going to be pretty doughy if you don't add enough water. Oops. Paper towels, clean up the floor. I'm sure all of you know your way around your kitchen quite nicely. But again, this is just to kind of give you that deep fried, feel good in the belly food, with it being healthy options like vegetables, as well as garbanzo bean flour and olive oil. Again, this would be for a small batch for yourself and for a friend or whomever. And if you're going to make this for a large family, you might want to use cheaper items if you have them, like something that's a little more cost. Oh, I just broke my fork. Oh, there you go. Get another one. Maybe if I used a metal one, it wouldn't break. Okay, so let that set up just a little bit. I'm going to get my cauliflower out of the pan. And now I'm going to put olive oil in there that's needed for the deep frying. So now I'm going to add a lot. The rest of this bottle. I have a whole nother bottle. Use that up. Now this is going to go back on the stove on a low heat. Olive oil. Olive oil burns fast. So once you get it heated up and you're deep frying, you don't want to leave it going the flame really high, because if the flame's too high, it will just burn your food on the outside and it won't cook in the center. Okay, mixy, get all of the thick chunks of flour mixed together homogeneously. Okay, it's pretty watery. We want it to be watery so it oozes through all the different texture of the broccoli and the cauliflower. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll deep fry one cauliflower, one broccoli, and one piece of potato. Just to kind of give you an idea of all three. Okay. Now I'm going to move the computer over to the stove so you can see. I'm going to have rice, some brown basmati rice to go with it. The olive oil is getting hot. I turned it up to start and now I'm going to turn it down. Okay, you can see the height of the flame. It's not very big. And then now move the broccoli, mix it really well. And now, put it into the oil. Mix it really well. Cauliflower into the oil, and then the piece of potato. To the oil. What I like to do is once I get them in there, is I take a little more of the batter, and kind of cup it with my hand, like a little scoop, and then I drizzle some more inside of the broccoli crown, because it will all just want to kind of go to the bottom of the pan at first when you first put it in there. You drizzle a little bit more, also on the cauliflower, kind of give it a thicker cake of batter. Okay, put this aside. Once your olive oil gets hot, they will cook fast. So you want to make sure that with your potatoes, you cut them down fairly thin. And then again with the broccoli and the cauliflower, you're going to pre-saute them, I guess, or I'm not quite sure what the term is. But you pre-cook them in a little bit of olive oil to get some heat into them, as well as softening them and cooking the stems. Now, we don't want to use plastic to move this around in the oil. We want to use metal. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit warmer for this round, this first round, so that you're not sitting there waiting forever. Okay, you can see it's just cooking slowly, bubbling. All of the batter has kind of congealed together and starting to solidify in between the potato, the cauliflower, and the broccoli. So I'm just taking my spoon and separating. And also you're going to get lots of little chunkies like this that are floating around. Those are really good just to kind of munch on once they're cooked. Just little batter, little chunks of batter. Alright, so now they've cooked halfway, and you can see I can pick up the potato and flip it over, give it a little golden brown surface. I pick up the broccoli. You can see all of the batter that's created this incredible pattern. Flip it over, and then the piece of cauliflower, you can see at the high point here, whoop, it's not completely cooked. And then here it's starting to get halfway cooked. I go in and flip that over. You can see on the underside of the cauliflower, it's already starting to get a little golden brown right there, so it's almost done. So I would just leave these in here for maybe, I don't know, 3-4 more minutes and just kind of keep an eye on them. Don't walk away. And then whenever you're done, you just scoop them off onto a plate and you're ready to go. Some people like to do prayers and offerings. I like to do that myself before eating, and that's what I'll do once this is all done. Okay, these little crispies again are really delicious. So there you go, guys. Let them cook a little longer. That's a good way to make some comfort food that's healthy during these times at home, so you don't have to run out and buy any deep fried processed food from a fast food joint. You can do it all here. You just have to buy the groceries. So I hope that helps. Maybe I'll do one of these every week during this time while you're checking out your videos for your classes. All right, enjoy. Take care.